So I'd like to invite our special guest, Councillor Averil, to give us an address.
Well, thank you very, very much for inviting me. I think it's always a privilege for us to come and share with some of the hard work that we're all doing. And when you mentioned it to me, I said, listen, I'm a mother of 3 daughters. So for me, yes, so for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, I would always bend over backwards to engage and support that work. Motherhood is a challenging thing, but more so now and in the environment that we find ourselves in. And I remember when I first became a mum, my dad gave me some advice. And what he said to me was, your children are only with you maybe for the first 3 years of their lives, or 4. After that, they're either in nursery, in school, and so on. So the time you have with them is very minimal. So you've got to make that time be more valuable, mean more than any pressures that they will get from outside. So coming home should be about coming to a place of safety, a place of nurture, and a place of love. And it's through that your influence will always be stronger than the external influences that our children face. And I think, you know, you've touched upon some of the issues. I mean, I lead in Greenwich as the Cabinet Lead of Health. And we know that we are having an incredible amount of issues with young people, manifesting with mental health issues and stresses and so on. And not only are you going through the hormonal changes, but our young girls are also being put under a colossal amount of pressure with preparing for exams. They're now having to do so many exams and so on. And it's like all these key indicators are one after another. So they're permanently under pressure in a way that in my day, we never were. I felt as if we used to spend a lot of time playing. But our young kids now are put under so much pressure that, you know, it's not surprising. And I remember saying to my youngest once, you know, you're having hormonal changes. I said, me and you are competing because I'm having the menopause and all. So, you know, we need to give each other a chance here. Let's give each other some space. But for me, I think the most important thing about being a mum of girls is, you know, I was lucky. My father was very influential in my life, but listening to my grandmother, it was always about, you know, find a good husband who will look after you and so on and so forth. My father was very much of the opposite school of thought, that as young women we should be able to reach our potential. And so for me, that was really important to impart with my daughters. It was just, you know, I said, before you even think about anything, know that the world is your oyster. However, I might differ with you slightly, because I don't think it's just about how hard you work, because somebody could work just as hard as me, but have less barriers than me. And our girls are having barriers of ethnicity, they have barriers of being women, so they're having to carry these 2 issues. And certainly with my girls, I used to say, not only do you need to be better, as good, you need to be better than everybody in order to get to where you are. And I also believed that each and every one of them were their own people. They had different personalities, completely different outlooks and different aspirations. And so it's important not to treat all your children with the same brush, because their personalities are very different. We joke now at how I manage the different personalities of my daughters, because as you get older, you also get better at it. So I think even as a parent, from your first child to the last, I mean, there's 15 years between my eldest and my youngest, experience teaches you a lot. So I think it's important that as parents too, we grow with our kids and we learn from them. But I think the single most important thing is to listen. If we don't listen to them, we don't hear them. And I feel that it's more important for my kids to come home and know that they will always have a voice and they'll always be listened to. Because I can't understand what their pressures are unless I'm listening, and really listening actively, if you like. So I think for me that's the most important thing I would say to take away. And caring, and being sincere, and being honest. I've always tried not to give them sort of pie in the sky ideas, in the sense that if I've got challenges, I will explain what those challenges are. Instead of saying, no, you can have whatever you want to have, I'll say, no, we still have these bills to pay, we still have these things to do, and these are... So they understood, and were able to work within that context. I also think that within a family, we needed to use all the different members of the family because personalities are different. For example, my brother is a lot more relaxed and chilled than I am, whereas I'm a pusher. So sometimes the kids would go to my brother. Likewise, sometimes his kids, if they needed that push, would come to me. So it was never about, why are you going to that person? You need to use the whole family to see how those skills interact in different ways and use that as your sort of resource to do this. Because I think parenting is a huge job. It's a challenging job. But I think it's the most fulfilling job when you can get it right. I believe that all the young people we have here today have got the opportunity to just really fly. And so it's important that we also expose them. Because it shocks me when I hear young people who, in Thamesmead, maybe who've never gone further than Thamesmead, and you ask, what would you like to be when you grow up? And somebody comes up with, I want to be a footballer's wife. And I just faint. We've worked so hard, not to be in that place in this day and age. But that's almost seen as a new pathway to life. So the media has a responsibility, and the kind of pressures that also puts. We were talking as we were walking down here today and saying, when they were growing up, they were all out playing and so on and so forth. But, so my daughter was saying, I don't see kids playing out. And the reality is that they're staying indoors, we're on PlayStation, social media, and all of these things. So these are other pressures that, mums now are really facing. And some of the kind of bullying that goes on, or pressures, and people feeling they need to... I mean, it's shocking to me that people are almost judging themselves according to how many likes they get on things like Facebook. And so we've got a lot of work. It's sad, but we do have a lot of work, and we have to keep talking to our daughters and making sure that they understand that, they need to believe in themselves. It's not anybody else that's going to give you that belief in yourself. You need to believe that you can do anything you want to do. And so we need to expose them to as many things